And if you're going to be cutting at the same time using the shears instead of cutter, can you do it using the shears? Yes, because I don't think the cutter works best here. Okay, so just hold this piece for now. Well, it is quite complicated, right? Can you see the line? It's in the central part. Okay, so can you cut through the main seam here? Can you see it? Okay, you have the shears. Let me hold it here. Let go. Okay, let it go. I'm holding it now. Okay, be careful here, okay? Make sure it doesn't touch you. All is well. What did you say? Guys, this is Moscow. Please take at least 2-minute break while we'll be thinking through our next steps. Well, okay, we almost reached it. Well, I think you can just push against it. And guys, I think you're going to disconnect RAT from MLI. What do you think? Stand by. Okay, so go ahead and release RAT and attach it on me. Guys, just try to untangle everything together. Oleg, hold the cutter to make sure it does not touch anyone. And Sergey, please untangle the cables. Okay, it's in work. Okay, there is so many MLI layers. Can you just hold it in this way? Yes, sure.
This is Mission Control Houston, 4 hours, 49 minutes into the spacewalk. Oleg Kononenko on the right, Sergei Prokopiev on the left.
You do not.
Quite a bit of thermal insulation debris swirling around them as they continue to complete the incision on the outer layer of thermal insulation in the area correspondent to where the hole was detected inside the habitation module or upper section of the Soyuz MS-09 spacecraft back on August 29th. They are almost at pay dirt here. They can see the micrometeoroid orbital debris shield underneath. The next course of action will be how they attack that portion of the incision work to reach the external hull of the Soyuz so that they can take samples and photographic documentation of the sealant that may have extruded through the hole when it was repaired inside back on August 29th by Sergei Prokopiev and Alexander Gerst.
Is there a rat here? No, but be careful. My hand is here. Should I hold it? And please be careful with the cable here. Be careful with the cables. You can go through here, but please be careful with the cables. Okay, should I reach there with my hand? Okay. Well, I think we should hold it here. Yes, we need a third person holding it all here from the side. Sergey, please hold it, and I will keep cutting. I can't reach it yet. I think we need to use forceps to hold it in place. Or should I just use the cutter? Can you use the cutter to hold it in place, to hold it down? Well, I will try doing that. Or you can use a hook. Okay, I got it. Okay, the scissors. I'm just going to move the scissors over there. Oleg, Sergey, this is Moscow. I think that it would be best to use clips and secure at least one of the layers. Well, there is so much strain here. I'm not sure that we will be able to get it done. Well, let's try it. Okay, Sergey, hold it. Guys, this is Moscow. If you can cut MMOD shield, and if this strain is not in the way, you can go ahead and do that. And then, as we go, we can hold MMOD shield down as well. Because what we're trying to do here is to cut MMOD shield sample. That's our major task. Okay, so try to cut through here where this white line is. I'm floating away.
Олег, ты занялся лентой, правильно?
Oleg, you are cutting through the tape, correct? Yes, that's correct. So once again, do not rush. Please complete all operations with the tape now, and please take at least 3-minute break. This is necessary safety-wise. Okay. Okay, so please rest now, and this is Sergey. I'm going to go and grab a couple of clips. Okay.
Олег, как у тебя тепловой?
Oleg, this is Moscow. How are you doing? Well.
Привет.
Okay, copy.
This is Mission Control Houston. We're in a handover between satellites on our tracking and data relay satellite system, approaching the 5-hour mark into today's spacewalk. After almost an hour of using a variety of cutting tools and a couple of knives, Oleg Kononenko and Sergei Prokopiev have made a fairly substantial incision in the thermal insulation on the habitation module, the upper portion of the Soyuz MS-09 spacecraft, as they prepare now to plot strategy for the cutting of a portion of the micrometeoroid debris shield underneath that will expose the external hull of the habitation module for sample collection.
I'm going to sign off.
Олег, Сергей, вы меня слышите?
Oleg, Sergey, do you read me? Yes.
Вот.
Yes, we read you. So one of the options is the following. Do not remove the clip
Чуть прижать этот пакет.
and press down on that layer. So what do you think? Should we cut through it? Well, I think there is a plate right there. Well, just try move it to move it from side to side and open up the layers, the MLI layers. Oleg, Sergey, this is Moscow. How do you copy? Yes, we read you loud and clear. Okay, so do you have any recommendations as to how this piece of MLI should be attached? Well, there are two pieces right now, and we're both trying to secure them.
Okay, Sergey, just listen to me, please. What is that? Do you see wire anywhere near you? We have wire ties. Okay, copy. So try to use them. What is that? You will need to remove the wire tie. Then you will need to fold it. After that, you take two more wire ties, you fold them again, and you will make something like a paper clip. And make sure that it also is at the negative angle so that that whole package can be installed on this wire tie. So install it inside that paper clip. Maybe it will be secured because it won't take that much effort to secure everything if you follow this option, not follow yours. Okay, let me try. I'm removing the handle. Unintelligible. I will take the wire tie, fold it. Okay, Sergey, please hold me. Okay, 1 second.
Нет.
No, wait a minute. Do you want me to use the scissors to cut the visible portion, at least? I think you can do that. Guys, I'm asking you, actually. Are we going to work with the MMOD shield right now? If yes, then if you use the cutter, yes, we will use the cutter. Okay. I will try to secure that whole blanket with the wire tie. Let me try. I believe that what we have should be sufficient. Oleg, can you please hold this wire tie for me? Thank you. Sergey, does it work? 1 second. Not yet. Let's cut it here. Look, to the right from you, I have cut this stripe right here. If you insert it right here, will that work for you? I will try to use this wire tie from under. So be careful because there are some sharp edges here. Yes, guys, of course, please be careful. I will.
Олег.
Oleg, yes.
А ты по нижнему резу, если смотрел, видишь цветы, которые бабушки?
Can you see unintelligible?
Их должно быть 2 штуки.
We haven't cut far enough to get there. Okay, copy.
Ребят, вы меня слышите?
Hey guys, can you hear me? Yes,
Это Соловьев.
this is Vladimir Solovyev.
Олег, врачи
Yes, hello.
все-таки руки устали, напиты. Давайте поменяйтесь местами, чтобы Серега дальше с ММ.
Let us set up the workplace so that Sergey could install that blanket for you. Vladimir, how? Literally, I think what is left, we should leave it as is. Sergey, do you think we should try harder here? The cut that is left here, it's right here, it stopped right here. We need to cut more down, and then there will be enough space for us. Like that. Yes, so we cut it a little bit further. Now please give me a clamp. Okay?
Олег, все-таки хотел
Oleg, we still would like to
от бабушек.
ask you to be really careful. Can you cut a little bit deeper? Do you want us to cut further? Is that what you're saying?
Вот это
What you showed us, yes, this is a perfect pattern. We like that plan. Okay.
вот этот винт. Да, этот винт.
Yes, right there.
Где-то миллиметров 300, наверное.
30 millimeters, maybe. Maximum.
И резать ММЗ.
So
Желательно не...
don't try to cut any further. 30 millimeters maximum. I will try. Do you want to cut? Yes, I can do that. Let me try. And you hold it here, please. Because you can't fit it right there because that was really big. This is the maximum. That's correct. Do you think the scissors will help with that? I don't think so. No, definitely no. Try to move it inside and try to turn the handle a little bit, and then it will come off.
Олег, а тебе для
Oleg, and just for your information,
этот винт, да?
so you have been holding it according to our
Расстояние 5
estimations, the distance of 55 millimeters toward the Roscosmos logo is exactly where the hole that we want to inspect is.
размером миллиметров 300 в длину.
So we need to make an additional cut of 250 millimeters. that will be a safe cut. You will need to secure the holder right there first, and after that, keep cutting. Okay, so we can install it here very carefully. 2 seconds. And
This is Mission Control Houston, 5 hours, 10 minutes into today's spacewalk as Oleg Kononenko now begins to use a pair of shears to cut through the debris shield that is underneath all of this insulation, this wide swath of insulation that the crew cut back over the course of the past hour.
yes.
Underneath that debris shield is the external hull of the habitation module of the Soyuz MS-09, which is the area of interest for inspection and sample collection of any residue of epoxy that may have extruded during the repair work that was effected by Sergei Prokopiev and Alexander Gerst back on August 29th to arrest the leak that was created by a 1/10 of an inch hole on the inside of the habitation module.
Now we will need to make it look pretty. From this side, that's right. But you can't see it. No, I can't. Let me think how we can reconfigure it.
Чтобы удобно было страховать клещи в момент передачи.
Try to make sure that the pliers remain in place and you guys move so that it's more comfortable for you to perform further cut. We are, don't worry. Okay, are you ready, Sergey? I am. Does it look okay? Yes. Does it look okay for you? Yes. Oleg, don't forget to be careful. Try to cut lower. And don't forget about the sharp edges. That is our main concern. Just be careful. Like that. I think it's perfect.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
Sure.
Let's cut a little bit more. Nothing. We still don't see that hole. We don't see the hole. All right, let's stop right here. Nothing. Move it closer. Move it back in there. Try to put the scissors inside there. Wait, hold on. Don't insert anything there yet. Let's work together. The first thing we need to do is for you, Oleg, to see the lug. Yes, the lug is there. I can see it. The hole is 55 millimeters away from that lug towards the Soyuz patch and 50 millimeters towards the Roscosmos logo, Roscosmos patch. So try to determine that area based on where the lug is and make sure that you cut in the right direction. I will try to squeeze the scissors in just to look. What is the distance between the cut and the lug? It's not a big distance. Okay, so should cut to the lug, towards the lug. Let's cut along this white line. At least try. Yes, in parallel. What if we cut right here? Because it will be attached only to the white tape if we cut it further. If we cut it further, we might cut the cables. Where are the cables? The cables are approximately 50 millimeters away from the lug. There is a cable truss there. How can I remove this?
И, может быть, тогда заготовить второй клещи зажимные на всякий случай, если
Would you...
будем еще резать.
So maybe you can use the vice grips. We can use the cutter to prop it a little bit away from the vehicle and see what is inside. Are you looking for the cable, Oleg? No, we can see the lug, right?
Повернись к ней, чтобы мы ее видели.
Yeah, we can see it as well. Can you remove the knife, or the cutter rather, from there? Let us try to prop it, just to fold it somehow to see what's inside, to look inside. Can we use a hook for that? Maybe we can use this tool because it won't work what you're offering. Let me take it out.
Ребят, давайте еще раз внимательно посмотрим, все-таки в районе...
Okay, guys, let us look carefully near that lug. If we see the lug, you will be able to see the opening or the hole in any case, if you see the lug. Do you see a black dot or something? Nothing. We see nothing.
Давай отогни этот лист подальше, чтобы он перед носом.
Move it away further, just to look inside. Okay, I'm moving it. Can you see anything?
Так, ребят, давайте сделаем так.
Okay, let's do the following, guys. Sergey, you will take the isolation container and you will bring it to the operation zone where you're working right now. And we will inspect the MMOD shield first, and after that we'll keep looking for the hole. We don't see anything right now. Can you move closer and look under the shield? Can you just raise it a little bit? Be very careful. Yes. Oh, yes, I can see it. I think that is the hole. That is exactly the hole we've been looking for, guys. No, it's not that one. No, it is that one. This one is serious? Yes, that one. It's the hole. Oh, I actually didn't think that it was a hole. I saw it before. It doesn't look like a hole. But on the other side of the shield, I can't see anything. All right, let's cut this off. Take a 2-minute break, and then Sergey will go grab the isolation container. Then he will open it, and then we will continue cutting the shield, and Sergey will be securing it. Okay. Then I will go grab the isolation container, but it's actually not far. It looks like dust. I don't know. The container is ready. All right, the container.
This is Mission Control Houston at the 5-hour, 20-minute mark in the spacewalk, the eureka moment where the crew finally saw the area, a small black dot that flight controllers and Korolyov, Russian flight controllers, say represents the area on the external hull where the hole corresponds to the inside of the habitation module that was detected back on August 29th, causing the pressure decay that was repaired through material soaked in epoxy sealant that was stuffed inside the 1/10 of an inch hole on the inside. The extrusion of some of that material is what you see, what you saw a moment ago anyway, on the hull, on the external hull. Now that the crew has cut through the insulation and a portion of the debris shield underneath, peeling all of that back to expose the area that they plan to collect samples from, to be put in a special container to be brought back to Earth for analysis by Russian engineers.
I've removed the reds. I can help you. It's complete. We have cut off the piece that we didn't need much. It was in the way. I agree. Sergey, please stow it away. Be careful. Please don't forget to be careful. And put it back in the isolation container. I believe that we have plenty of material here for the test. I don't see any traces that can help us determine anything. The clearance between the MMOD shield and the hull is 16 millimeters, and no traces actually doesn't prove anything. I understand there should be any traces of the drill, but I don't see anything. So maybe they didn't drill enough. I have removed it, or rather, I have stowed it back in the container. The vice grips are in the container. That's exactly what I was thinking. Let us cut this little piece off. Sergey, do you agree with us?
You've been watching the up-close views from Oleg Kononenko's helmet camera during all of this forensic surgery that's been taking place on the insulation and the debris shield to expose the area of the habitation module's external hull, correspondent to the area inside the habitation module where the hole was detected back on August 29th, causing a temporary decay in the station's pressure. This view of Sergei Prokopiev on the left, wearing the suit with the blue stripes, Kononenko on the right. They will be working shortly to take swabs to collect samples of any of the sealant, the epoxy sealant that extruded through the hole during the repair effort effected back on August 29th. We're almost at the 5.5-hour mark in today's spacewalk. The crew is running well over an hour behind their pre-published timeline.
Let us not rush. Let us follow the procedure. Let's go step by step in order not to mess anything up. Okay, I'm cutting this off. Your go. Oleg, how much do you think we need to cut, or how long should the additional cut be? I'm really afraid to cut a cable. It should be somewhere here. Try to make another longitudinal cut. I have done that already. Now you need to install the grips there. Let me try to do that. Please inspect that area for any drill traces. Nothing. Okay. Here's what we need to do. We will install the grips right there in that spot. We will also cut 10 centimeters to the left towards the Roscosmos patch. Then we'll remove it. We'll put it in the isolation container together with the grips. After that, we will take everything that we see in front of us. Everything. You will use your GoPro camera. The more pictures you take, the better. After that, we will grab the test kit. And after that, we'll use the material that is like sandpaper. You will use it on the hole where that black dot is and around it on the hull. Then you will remove this sampler. You will grab the second sampler. And you will do exactly the same with this sampler in this zone. And then we will tell you what to do next. Okay. Okay, Oleg. Do you see anything above this red black dot? It's hard to tell here, but it looks something yellow here. It looks like fabric or something like a spider. Black with yellow specks or dots. I don't know how to call them. Okay, copy. We will take photographs and we'll see what that is. Okay, Sergey, we can install the grips in this area with this end. Exactly. This part that we already started to cut. Yes, I understand.
And one request, guys, to you from Moscow. Oleg, it's very important for us when you take this away, this layer. One of the corners should be marked. Take a cutter and draw some kind of line. So which corner should be marked, Moscow?
This is Mission Control Houston coming up on the 5.5-hour mark into the spacewalk today. You can see this entire area where the insulation and a portion of the debris shield underneath on the habitation module has been cut away. That whole area, the outer layers of the habitation module have been peeled back to expose the location where you can see where the hole is at the very bottom right-hand portion of that square. That's the external hull of the Soyuz MS-09 habitation module.
Yes, I understand.
You can see that dark spot on the lower right-hand side. That's the hole that corresponds to the area inside the habitation module where the 1/10 of an inch hole was located as the source of the leak and the pressure decay back on August 29th that was repaired through epoxy sealant by Sergei Prokopiev and Alexander Gerst at that time. A little better access is desired by the Russian flight controllers before swabbing samples are taken of the material on the outside there to be placed into a container and brought back to Earth for analysis by the Russian engineers. This whole spacewalk today is designed to gather additional engineering data for the specialists on the ground for future analysis of the potential causes for the source of the leak in this vehicle. The spacewalk also allowing specialists to look externally, as in the same view you're looking at the effectiveness of the internal repair.
Can you see?
The Soyuz spacecraft has been declared safe to return to Earth. That planned for a week from tomorrow, when Prokopiev, Alexander Gerst, and NASA's Serena Aunen Chancellor board the vehicle, close the hatches, and undock from the Rosviet module of the International Space Station, headed for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan at 11:03 p.m. Central Time next Wednesday night, which will be 11:03 a.m. at the landing site in Kazakhstan on December 20th.
Sergei, could you please secure the cutter? Oleg, and the width that you have cut out is quite sufficient, so cut this width. The whole of it? Oh, I have cut it out. I have cut it out. Yes, that's quite enough. That's quite enough. Yes, I cut it out. I cut it out. Yeah, so we cut it right above the hole, quite right above the hole. Or not? Well, I think we should use the test here, or maybe we should cut more.
Когда уложишь вот этот образец,
Сергей,
попробуй снять с того, вернее, перед тем, как укладывать этот,
before you sew
предыдущего образца и образец
this one,
Большого, да?
Да, с большого.
Я понял. Еще ниже.
so do we need to cut a little bit lower? Yes, we would like you.
Хотя бы на 3 сантиметра еще ниже прорез.
To have a cut like 3 centimeters lower.
Делать поперечный разрез, обрати
So when you do the cut,
кабельного ствола.
please pay attention to how what is the distance to the cable.
Губки у ножниц я не могу оценить.
Well, you know, I cannot tell the distance using the handles of the scissors.
Потому что у нас кабельный ствол ниже ММЗ.
Well, you know, the cable is below MMOD.
Ну, смотри, вот это вот ММЗ.
Well, this is MMOD. You see, I can do a vertical cut here. You know, use the knife first and then the cutter. Of course, you know, it is not attached to the hull. It looks like this layer is not attached to the hull. That's what I suggested first time. So we don't have to cut the ribbon, so to say, but, you know, insert the knife, widen the hole a little bit, the opening, and then put the scissors in there, the needles of the scissors. Okay, we will try that. You know, it looks like the MMOD just is lying over the cable. So if we lift this MMOD shield a little bit, I will be able to cut it. First, do the vertical cut, you know, going down. Sergei, I think we will do as we have planned. Of course, you know, I think it's a good idea. All right.
Так. Я снял одни клещи.
So I removed one pliers or grips.
Забирай их, мы сейчас будем ставить на вот этот образец, который будет еще один.
So we will use this sample, unintelligible.
Так. Серег, подберешь нож. Пожалуйста.
Sergey, take the knife.
Я поставлю клещи.
I will install the grips.
И бы, наверное, надо на что-то, ред какой-нибудь.
We need some kind of tether here, maybe a red tether.
Клещи? А придется тянуть. Да, я же сверху хочу.
Yeah, I want to do it from above.
Так, редом надо их как-то. Может быть, даже кому.
Yeah, they should be secured with a tether.
Возьми у меня ред, Саш. Ой, Серег. Ред у меня вот здесь.
Sergey, take my red tether available here.
Любой возьми.
Take any available red, actually.
Да, большой возьму ваш.
You can take large one.
Ты на губки нажми его на ручку.
Push on the handle. I'm trying to do this.
А этот маленький.
And what about this small one?
Или чуть ногу, руку подними.
Raise your hand a little bit, Oleg.
Так.
Five hours, 38 minutes now into the spacewalk. A good close-up view of the area where Oleg Kononenko has spent the better part of an hour and a half using a series of cutting tools and a knife to slash away at a piece of thermal insulation and a micrometeoroid debris shield underneath to expose the external hull of the habitation module or upper section of the Soyuz MS-09 spacecraft. That in turn revealing the area, a small dark spot corresponding to the area inside the habitation module where a hole was detected back on August 29th as the source of a leak that caused a pressure decay in the station for a few hours until the crew acted swiftly to patch up that hole through the use of an epoxy sealant. The goal of this spacewalk was never any repair work. It was simply a data collection exercise to collect samples through swabs to be placed in a sample container to be brought back to Earth so that engineers on the ground can assess the effectiveness of the repair technique through any samples collected of that epoxy that may have extruded through the hole from the repair work conducted inside.
Sergey, maybe, you know, the ratchet wrench in the way there? Unintelligible.
It is noteworthy that when this vehicle, the MS-09, undocks from the Rassvet module of the International Space Station next Wednesday evening, it will back off to a safe distance away from the station. Sergei Prokopyev, strapped in the center seat of the center section of the three-section Soyuz, the descent module, flanked on his left by Alexander Gerst and on the right by Serena Aunen, Chancellor of NASA. They will conduct a deorbit burn of some 4 minutes and 35 seconds or so in duration, a braking maneuver to enable the Soyuz to slow down and drop out of orbit. Right after that deorbit burn occurs, as is standard practice, the habitation module, which is the scene of today's work, will be depressurized in advance of the pyrotechnic separation of the 3 sections of the Soyuz spacecraft prior to the time that the descent module would enter the Earth's atmosphere with its heat shield pointed in the direction of travel to ablate the buildup of some 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit of heat around the spacecraft until it descends into the lower regime of the atmosphere.
Put the knife in there and raise it a little bit, then we'll be able to insert the jaws of the cutter. Okay, let's try that. Are you inserting the knife? So you are not touching the cable? I don't think so. Now hold it like this. Now the scissors. I have the scissors here. I move a little bit away here. You know, I cannot tell whether there is a cable or not. I guess the knife should be inserted vertically. Okay, so you hold it like this, Sergei, and I will try to cut. Are you sure that there is no cable there? No, I'm sure. Well. Stand by one, I will pull it away a little bit, and then you will be able to make a cut. Do you think it is enough here to use the grips? You know, we'll have to hold it down so that the piece does not fly away. We have to be careful with that. Guys, this is Moscow. 5:43. We are moving towards the end of the EVA. 5:43 is the time of the EVA. Yes, pull it away because I want to cut it here. Do I have to pull it away? Yes. Move on. Pull it away. Okay, let's move it a little bit closer here. Okay, let's do that. I will hold the scissors and I will push you a little bit closer.
Kononenko is using a clamp here to try to hold back some of the insulation he previously cut away. They would like to cut away just a touch more of insulation to get a bit better access to the area where the hole that corresponds to where the hole was detected on the inside, and which displays the repair area on the external hull for the sampling of that epoxy sealant on the outside.
Cut it out and put it into the isolating container. Try to push it to the hot stop.
Сереж, когда уберешь в изолирующий контейнер?
Sergey, this is Moscow. Throw it in the container, Sergey. And Oleg, we have a request to you.
Так, чтобы нам была видна зона вот этого черного пятна как можно лучше.
Try to turn in such a way that we can see the area of this black spot as clear as possible. Okay?
We're in the process of handing over communications between satellites on the tracking and data relay satellite system. We'll be regaining our downlink TV capability from the International Space Station a short time from now. The station and its 6 crew members, including the duo outside, as they have been for 5 hours and 46 minutes, flying directly over Calgary, Canada, at an altitude of 252 statute miles.
This is the maximum piece, maximum size that we were able to cut out. So I think there should be something on that, at least. Okay, copy that. Thank you.
Так, есть. Забираю клишку, убираю КПУ.
So I'm removing a KPO tool carrier here.
Здесь тебе надо тесты, да? Сейчас Серега скажет. Серег, что ты хотел эту камеру включить?
Sergey, you wanted me to activate the camera? Okay, Oleg. First of all, position yourself in such a way that we could receive the image from your camera a little bit to the right, you know, a little bit to the right.
Вот.
Yes.
And a good unobstructed view now of that black spot. That's the hole on the external hull of the habitation module that corresponds to the area that the hole was detected inside back on August 29th.
Чуть-чуть правее.
A little more to the right.
Нет, ты влево пошел.
Now you're going to the left. We need to the right.
Нет, я вправо.
No, I was moving to the right.
Значит, моя лево.
Еще.
A little bit more, a little bit more. No, it's the wrong direction. Move in the opposite direction.
Еще?
A little bit more. Do you want more, Moscow?
Еще чуть.
Yes, a little bit more.
В эту же сторону.
Same direction.
Теперь скажи, пожалуйста, как на твое мнение, там торчит большой кусок, мы его кокером заберем, нет?
So now please tell me, is it possible to retrieve this piece with the cocker forceps? Is it a big enough piece for that? You know, I think that probably knife can be used
Ну хорошо, давай
here. Okay.
Фотографируй.
Take a picture on using GoPro as close as possible.
В трех расстояниях от этого.
And actually, you can use 3 distances from this hole. And Sergey, you will retrieve coker forceps and the test strips. And you know, camera should be taking video for about 20 seconds. So in 3 positions. So the closest position, and for 30 seconds, and then 2 other positions a little bit further from it for 15 seconds each. That's the video we want you to take.
Непонятно, то ли снимает, то ли нет.
You know, I cannot understand whether the camera is filming or not, whether it is shooting or not. Well, it should be blinking. Yes, the LED is on and it is blinking. Then it should be working. You know, there are numbers are incrementing there. It is not blinking, but the numbers are incrementing. Well, Sergey...
Kononenko using a GoPro camera to take a close-up view and video of that area, that black speck, if you will, which is correspondent to the hole on the inside of the habitation module. That is the subject of interest. The flight control team in Korolyov currently debating the best way to collect samples. The original intent was to use swabs and put those swabs of the sample of this epoxy sealant that extruded through the hole during the repair back on August 29th and put it in a sample container to be brought back home. Now the possibility exists that they would use a knife to cut off a small piece of that epoxy sealant that you see having extruded through the hole.
So what should be done first? Sergey, give your GoPro to Oleg so that he can take video on that, but I need to hold MLI for that. Yes, could you please hold it down a little bit? Maybe use the ratchet wrench to hold it down. Stand by 1.
Выбери себе положение, чтобы ты ему помогал.
Okay, Sergey, try to select a position so that you will be able to help Oleg. Okay, I have secured myself.
Посмотри левой рукой.
Okay, please be careful. Use your left hand.
Зато камеры управляю.
Well, but I can operate the camera like that. You know, Oleg, you're more important than camera. Yes, I understand.
Сереж, попробуй ему помочь.
Sergey, try to help him.
Нет, да пусть Серега сейчас занимается.
Let Sergey hold it down.
Есть. И иду к коллегу. Цифр взял.
Unintelligible.
Так, Серега, я тоже снимал.
Sergey, I actually have taken a video.
А я тогда камеру включаю.
Okay, now I'm activating my camera. This is the EV2. You know, Oleg, just leave it activated until, you know, all the batteries are repleted and just forget about it.
Но, Олег, с твоей точки зрения она работала, и все, мы отсняли, правильно?
Oleg, so you think you have taken the video and the camera was working and everything. You know, the numbers were incrementing. Usually when the camera is working, when I was taking pictures of the thermal sensors, you know, the numbers this time were blinking a little bit differently than that time when I was shooting the thermal sensors. Okay, Oleg, I'm activating my camera. So I'm activating it. You hold this first, and I will try to give you my camera. Okay, let me activate it, Sergey. Let me activate it. Yes, it is working. There is an LED, and there was no LED on my camera. Okay. Let it go. Guys, while you're taking the video, I will give you our recommendations. So, Sergey, it's not actually, doesn't matter whether, I'm taking video from above or from below. Well, it's at your discretion. I'm gripping it. Well, Oleg, don't worry about it. I think we will have some video. Now, our recommendations. Using the Cocker forceps, you will try to take a sample of the material that is sticking out. And after that, first use the sandpaper on the hull, and then inaudible. Yes, then you use the swab to take samples. Well, I'm afraid if we use the forceps here, it might actually disintegrate this material. Hold it here, Sergey. And a little bit more down. Yes, that's correct. Sergey, this is Moscow. Can you copy me? Yes, it is fragile. It breaks. Sergey, push me closer to the hull. Can you see? I cannot use the grips here. So there is no joy, guys, to take a sample? Is it rather far? Yes, it is too far. I cannot reach it properly. Guys, this is Moscow. Okay, put away the Cocker's forceps. Put it away. Don't forget to put a cover on it, on the forceps. Okay, so it's the last attempt, and if it fails, then just stow it away. Oh, I managed to grip it. I managed. It's a success. Put the cup on it. Will you be able to grasp?
This is Mission Control Houston. We're at the 6-hour mark in the spacewalk. Oleg Kononenko trying mightily to collect a sample of the epoxy sealant that extruded through the hole that was observed first on August 29th on the inside of the habitation module and then sealed up with that epoxy sealant to close up the hole and stop the leak that caused a pressure decay.
When we press the jaws of the forceps, it broke. It is fragile.
Okay, guys, sounds good. Please stow it away in the isolating container. Okay. Okay, guys, next you will be using the samplers. Let me stow it. Oleg, please start with sample 1. Start with using the sandpaper. So should I run the sandpaper against the surface?
The Russian flight controllers are working to figure out the best method to collect any samples they can of the extrusion of the epoxy sealant that you see, that black dot, if you will, on the external hull of the habitation module. The International Space Station is flying in darkness over the Atlantic Ocean.
Just a reminder. First of all, you need to use the sandpaper with the rest of the samplers, the black samples, and then you will run the sandpaper against the metal hull. And then you will do the same again. Okay, sounds good. Okay, stand by. I'm just going to secure the forceps. Okay, Sergey. And please do not turn off your GoPro camera. Let it keep working. Copy. Okay, the sandpaper. And you should use 2-1. Okay, so I'm just trying to secure it using a large tether hook. Okay, Oleg, I will start moving towards you. Okay, there you go. That's it. This is the sampler. Oleg, hold it. Should I hand it over to you? Yes, that would be better. Okay, sandpaper 201. Well, I think it's just kind of skipping through.
Yes. Держи.
Oh, okay, there you go. Hold it.
Точно.
Ну, давайте все с этим закончим.
Okay, guys, let's finish up with these operations.
Отпускай.
Okay, let go.
Что, не понравилось, Сергей Сергеевич?
Sergey, did you not like it? No, everything is just fine.
Все вот это вот чернотовское врунул.
Well, you see, I think I got all the black stuff out. Now I'm seeing this dense material. I think it's lighter in color. It's not black. Yes, we can see it, but the image is not that clear. Could you please point your GoPro camera towards it while you're setting up sampler 2?
Задержал.
Hold it.
Полищук лично искал этот абразивный материал. А он и не успел.
Так, готово.
Okay, it's ready.
Подаю, Олег.
Oleg, I will hand it over to you.
Ага. Я тебя притягиваю.
Okay, so I am pulling you towards it.
Ты так хорошо лежать стал. Мне не надо притягивать.
You are in a good position now. I don't even have to do much at this point. Well, there you go. Did you get used to it? Sure enough.
Вот держишься, да. Сергей, вот я пил все вокруг.
Sergey,
Остался такой просто круг.
what
Не круг, а оказывается затычка.
I have now, there is just a circle type insert here. It looks like a plug. Okay, excellent. Thank you.
За бортом 6
Let's start
нас ждет дом.
wrapping up.
Так.
Six hours, 9 minutes into today's spacewalk, Kononenko continues to collect samples of the epoxy sealant that extruded through the hole in the hull of the habitation module.
The Velcros are all frayed. So
The epoxy sealant used on the inside of the habitation module 4 months ago when the hole was detected, causing a decay in pressure on the inside of the International Space Station. The whole exercise today to collect a sample of that epoxy sealant. By doing so, the crew had to cut through thermal insulation on the outside of the habitation module and then cut away a piece of the debris shield underneath to expose the area correspondent with where the leak was found on the inside of the habitation module on this Soyuz spacecraft that will be used to return to Earth next Wednesday with Sergei Prokopiev, Alexander Kirst, and Serena Anand-Chancellor.
And do you think that it will just stay in place? No, you know, I'm actually not going to say anything about that anymore because it is time for us to get back inside. Okay, so I'm going to release this news or the slip knot when you move to the operator's post. Okay, test sampler is secured. Okay, guys, did you clean everything up to make sure that there is nothing extra remaining? I think we got everything. It's just the slip knot that's left at this point. And it is attached to the pocket, which is good. Can you release it and just be holding it with your hand? I think it will be a better way to do it. Okay, let me try it. Let's wait for Sergei to finish up. Okay. Okay, it is removed. And there are these things floating around. I think I need to put it inside KPU EVA tool carrier.
With Kononenko having collected what the Russian flight controllers believe are enough samples of the epoxy sealant that extruded through the hole during the repair technique 4 months ago, the next order of business on the plan is to place a thermal blanket and clip that thermal blanket into place over the area where the incisions were made and the thermal insulation peeled back a short time ago.
Well, I think that we've tightened it, so I don't think that we will be able to retrieve it because we've actually tightened the tether hook, so I'm not sure how exactly we're going to slacken it. So in this case, you need to release the one that's attached on the KPU side. We're going to retrieve it later. Do you mean the hook? Yes. No. Let's do the following. No need. Do not release it. Okay, so I'm just going to release it from the KPU side, and then you will run it through. Okay, it is released. And now we need to make sure that we're not floating away. Okay, Sergei, hold it. Okay, it is released, Sergei. Okay, Sergei, attach this tether to KPU and using the ring, move towards the operator post. Copy. And I'm holding on to the pocket. So I'm going to start the translation. Did you Did you untether KPU container on the grapple fixture? Let me check. And then check the ring as well, too. Oleg, while you're resting, let's discuss the following. First of all, Sergey will be near operator post, near the controls. You will egress the foot restraint, and you will be in a position that is required to move towards the FGB. Okay, and then you will untether from the foot restraint, and you will need to attach it onto FGB handrail. Okay, sounds good. And should I use the second tether too for the Strela boom? The tether that will be routed through the adapter. You will be establishing connection between the grapple fixture and the handrail using that tether. That's it, I think.
This is Mission Control Houston, 6 hours, 17 minutes into the spacewalk. Oleg Kononenko in the red stripes, Sergei Prokopyev in the blue stripes, beginning to wrap up work at the work site in the habitation module area of the Soyuz MS-09, where they have exposed the area where the hole was located inside the habitation module back on August 29th, causing a temporary decay in pressure to the International Space Station. That hole was quickly fixed by Prokopyev and Alexander Gerst using an epoxy sealant on cloth material that was jammed into the hole. The epoxy sealant that extruded through the outer hull of the Soyuz was clearly visible during this sample collection activity, and samples of that epoxy were taken by the cosmonauts and put in a container that will be brought back to Earth for analysis by Russian engineers. We are now hearing that the crew no longer plans to put a insulation blanket over the area of the incision where they cut through thermal insulation and a piece of the micrometeoroid orbital debris shield underneath. Russian specialists at the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside Moscow have determined through analysis that it is not necessary for the habitation module to be covered with that piece of thermal insulation as the original plan had called for. This habitation module, as we've mentioned before, but it's worth mentioning again.
Okay, so I've reached.
The habitation module is depressurized right after the deorbit burn that will occur next Wednesday evening. The crew is inside the center section of the Soyuz vehicle, the descent module, strapped into their respective seats. The habitation module is then pyrotechnically jettisoned along with the lower section of the Soyuz, which is the instrumentation and propulsion module, right before the vehicle enters the Earth's atmosphere. So the habitation module's work is basically completed after the crew has climbed inside through the habitation module to the descent module and closed the hatches behind them. So again, we're now hearing that the Russian specialists no longer believe that it's required to put a thermal blanket over the area where the incision and the inspection took place by the two cosmonauts. You see in this wider view from an external truss camera Sergei Prokopiev beginning to set up the Strela telescoping boom once again for Oleg Kononenko to be transported from the work site on the habitation module over to the Zarya module, and then back from Zarya to the Pirs docking compartment, where the crew will re-enter the International Space Station's airlock and close the hatch to complete the spacewalk. One other note, as the two cosmonauts are making their way back towards Pirs, we'll be hearing that Anne McLean and David St. Jacques will be moving into their Soyuz spacecraft, which is the Soyuz MS-11 spacecraft that docked last week to the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment of the International Space Station for a period of about 1 hour of isolation. That is a standard operating procedure for Russian spacewalks to enable the spacewalkers themselves to have a backup airlock capability through the service module if necessary, in the unlikely event they would be unable to repressurize the Pirs docking compartment for some reason. So once again, we are hearing that it will not be necessary to place a thermal blanket over the area of the incision that you see right above Oleg Kononenko, where he used a knife and other cutting tools to cut back thermal insulation, and then a piece of the orbital debris shield underneath to reach the site where the epoxy sealant extruded through the hull of the habitation module. Samples were collected. This is correspondent to the area inside the habitation module, the upper portion of the Soyuz vehicle, where the leak was detected back on August 29th and then sealed up by Prokopiev and Alexander Gerst.
Олег, ты там еще не заскучал?
Oleg, are you getting bored there? No, I'm hanging in there.
Да, чуть осталось.
Okay, we just have a little bit left here. And I'm on the central post now. Copy, Sergey. And when you're ready to start operating the controls, please make sure that you agree with Oleg that he will unhook and degress the tether, and you will start translating again.
The International Space Station flying just off the coast of South Africa at this hour, approaching the 6.5-hour mark in the spacewalk. Sergei Prokopyev has now made his way away from the work site along the habitation module of the Soyuz MS-09 spacecraft and is now back at the operator's post, as it is called, for the Strela boom. He soon will be setting up all of that hardware to begin to maneuver Oleg Kononenko back from the work site to the Zarya module, where he will then swap positions and get off of this particular Strela boom and move on to a different one that will carry him and Prokopyev back to the Piers docking compartment to begin to wrap up activity associated with today's spacewalk.
A bit to the right. Yes, just slightly to the right.
For those who keep records, earlier this year, the longest spacewalk in Russian spacewalk history was conducted back on February 2nd as Alexander Mazurkin and Anton Shkaplerov during Expedition 54 replaced an electronics box on the Zvezda service module's Lyra antenna, a high-gain antenna at the rear of the service module. That spacewalk was 8 hours and 13 minutes in duration. Not the longest spacewalk in history, however. That belongs to Jim Voss and Susan Helms on the STS-102 mission back on March 11th, 2001, when they spent 8 hours and 56 minutes outside working to configure cables for a pressurized mating adapter and to install a cradle assembly for the Destiny laboratory on the truss of the International Outpost.
Can you see that I'm moving off to the side? You? Yes. Let me check. So you're going to push against the MRM module. So let me move you up a bit. And there are panels there, so be careful. I think this is good. That's it. Okay, you're secured now. Okay, let's keep going with the retraction part of it. Sergey, do not rush, okay? Okay. Do not go too fast. Okay. Yes, I can see handrail number 5 too. Oleg, this is Moscow. Can you please tell me if the isolating container is attached to KPO2 carrier or not. It is attached to it next to, well, actually it is next to KPO2 carrier. And what about the cover? Did you install the covers? Did you close it? No,
Copy all. I have attached myself to 5019. Okay, so you can unattach yourself from the foot restraint. Copy. You can secure yourself on the FGB in the same zone where you were before. Let me find it. Do you want me to move it to the right? Okay, look here. 5016. We are leaving our foot restraint. Do I understand it correctly? Yes, do not remove the foot restraint or the adapter. They should remain in place, understood? And I'm moving to the right. No, left. No, right, actually. I'm ready. Are you ready? I think you need to go down first. So does this mean that we will leave it on MRM1? No, you will leave the foot restraint where it is. It is folded in such a way that... Oh, do you want me to raise it? Is that enough, or I should move it further to the right? What about the upper handrails? Let's see. 2201.
Максимально приближаемся к кольцевым поручням ГА ФГБ.
Try to move closer, as close as you can, to the pressurized adapter of the FGB. Copy all.
От возможного контакта с чем угодно.
And try to avoid your physical or mechanical contact with anything that you might encounter on the way to the pressurized adapter. And that will be it for today. I'm here on MRM1. Are we attaching it to the pressurized adapter? Exactly right, pressurized adapter. The solar arrays are right behind you, yes. I'm trying to be careful.
Я так понимаю, на гермодаптере самое такое место — это близость солнечной...
The most dangerous spot or working operation post near the pressurized adapter is right in front of the solar arrays. Is that correct, Oleg? That's correct. We just talked about the foot restraint, the hook that is on the foot restraint. Yes. I think I can remove it. You can spend a couple more minutes on that. Okay, copy. We understand, Sergey. Unintelligible. Copy. I have secured the handrail. It has been secured. Copy. One of the rats, Oleg, that is on you got caught into the hook. Yes, I see that. Thank you, Sergey, for catching that. I have removed the tether. Is there a risk that it might float away? Just make sure that it's secured properly. Let me check. I think I need to move closer to the EVA tool carrier. I don't think we should follow the foot restraint here. That is correct. You leave it as is. You don't need to do that. Okay, thank you. Understood. Unintelligible. How can I unattach or unsecure the capo? Okay, it's done.
Ну что, давайте сделаем так. Один изолирующий контейнер несет, второй укладку КПУ плюс кролл.
I think that right now you need to distribute it as follows. One of you will take the isolation container, the other one will take the KPU and bring everything back to the airlock.
Лучше так.
Okay, I think so too. What are you saying, Sergey? Grab one kit. Do you think that will be more convenient for us? Yes, I think so. Oleg, all three items will need to be dragged to DC1 on the grapple fixture. Okay. Let me secure it here. It is already secured, I think. I don't have anything I can secure it with.
Отстыковывай. Там у нас, вернее, этот клубок, он глубина проволоку, да? Сейчас я у нас...
I need to secure it with the wire tie. What is that? Wire tie.
Я вот с этой стороны.
Let me try from this side. Sergey? Yes? Readjust this. Look there. Under your right hand.
This is Mission Control Houston, 6 hours, 43 minutes into today's spacewalk by Oleg Kononenko and Sergei Prokopyev. This view, close-up views of the area of the habitation module of the Soyuz MSO-9, where Kononenko and Prokopyev wrapped up their work a short time ago to cut away a piece of thermal insulation at the very top section of the Soyuz spacecraft docked to the Rassvet module of the International Space Station.
Let's leave it as
the insulation and a piece of orbital debris shield underneath, cut back by Kononenko using a series of cutters and a knife to expose the external hull in a data collection exercise to take video and photos of the area correspondent to where a hole was detected inside the habitation module on August 29th that created a leak and a decay in pressure module inside the International Space Station. That leak was shored up with a quick repair technique using material soaked in epoxy sealant. Since then, pressure has held steady. This vehicle is good to go to come home to a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan next Wednesday evening, U.S. time.
Unsecure configuration.
Kononenko also retrieved some sample material from the epoxy sealant that was seen extruding through the external hull where the repair technique had been affected.